Hi, welcome to RememberYoni.com. I'm Rabbi Avram Golder, and here we are, second week, reviewing the Shabbos, the Simanim of each daf. And our goal here is to be able to make each daf distinct in our own minds, to catalog where things are, to be able to find and build our sense of makoros, and to get a tefis on the Masechta. And then as we do review, more and more the daf will stick to the simanim. But the first thing you have to do, or I suggest to do, is to make a siman, and that way you have something in your mind's eye that's distinctly there to file what you're going to learn and what you're going to learn from each sugi on each daf. Okay, so I'm going to review the dafim from daf Yud to daf to Zayin, today's daf, and then ask some questions at the end. Okay, here goes. Daf Yud. Daf Yud deals with, we had the Mishnah that says things you can't do before mincha time, activities. So this daf deals with what are the beginning times for sitting in judgment based in, or beginning meals. And we learned that there are different people start eating at different times of the day. The Ludim are very ravenous. They start eating the first hour of the day. Bandits, the second hour of the day. Talmid Chachamim, the 6th hour of the day. Then we have the idea that when you give a gift to someone, you should inform them that they're receiving a gift. And the example of that is the Kadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe to tell us that we were receiving the gift of Shabbos. And then we also learn about the idea that one should not favor any child. And as an example, the Gemara brings down Yaakov Avinu, who, because of his favoritism for Yosef and giving him the Ksonos Pasim, it led to eventual galus for all of us in Mitzrayim. So the siman for Yud is a tent. 10 Yud, 10 tent. So we have to imagine it's early in the morning, it's an encampment, and outside all the tents are benches and people eating breakfast. You have the Ludim who've already eaten, or it's the first hour of the day, ravenous eating, the bandits the second hour. Later on, the Talmid Chachamim are going to come to eat their meal, and then all of a sudden a UPS truck approaches, and out comes the driver, and he has a big package, it's a big gift, and in that gift you have two things. You have the Neros of Shabbos, to remind us that you have to, that chazal about our knowing about Shabbos as a gift. And also there's a Ksonos Pasim in it, which is a show of favoritism. Okay, Daf Yud Aleph deals with the statements from Rav Bar Chasya, one of them being that if one builds buildings in a town higher than the Beis Knesses, eventually it will be destroyed. We also learn that that if there was enough, the seas were ink and the skies were parchment and everybody had, pens in their hands and they're writing, they'd never be able to write down all the different things going on in the government. It's just beyond comprehension, the activities of a government. And then we have, with all its complexity, and then we have the inyan of a tailor going out with a machat, a needle in his garment, derech manaso, professional way, and what is the din there? So we imagine Daf Yud Aleph. Yud Aleph is 11, like the 11 stars in Yosef's dream. So you imagine this very tall house reaching so high, it goes all the way up into the stars. And down the block you have a Beis Knesses, which is much lower, not a good idea. And then down, further down the street is the White House. So that's our reminder of the government inyan. And then at the very top of this house, out comes the Chayat, and he's got the big machat, shiny, in his garment, and he's about to be Makabel Shabbos. Okay, that's Daf Yud Aleph. Daf Yud Beis. Daf Yud Beis deals with the inyan of checking lice, and the Gemara declares whether the Mishnah was referring to or ner by checking lice as well, by light. Was that the issue, or is it just checking lice? Then we have the issue of when one visits the sick on Shabbos, they shouldn't daven for them, but there's things they would say, like Shabbos Imalizok or Refu Krov Lavo. So we learn about that. And then we also learn about that the sugya of reading by light, a lamp on Shabbos is prohibited, even if the lamp is very high, even it's 10 stories high. So we imagine Daf Yud Beis is like a dozen eggs, and we imagine that on this big egg carton, you have all these lice running over the eggs because they're running away from the guy checking for the lice. And meanwhile, this carton is huge. It's the